Detective Mariana Voss had always known that the truth lay hidden beneath layers of deception. In a city where every smile concealed a secret and every shadow hinted at a lie, her relentless determination to unveil the mystery often placed her on the razor's edge between justice and danger. It was on a crisp autumn evening, when the streets were painted in deep russet hues and the chill in the air hinted at winter, that she received a call that would change the course of her career. A high-profile case had erupted in the heart of the city. An influential businessman named Adrian Kessler, known for his charm and success, had been found dead in his luxury apartment. The circumstances surrounding his death were as perplexing as they were shocking. Initially believed to be a robbery gone wrong, the investigation soon took a more twisted turn when evidence emerged that suggested a tangled web of marital deceit and betrayal. Adrian's wife, Celia Kessler, had maintained an air of calm denial, yet whispers of a secret affair began to circulate. Among the many rumors, one stood out. There were hints that Celia herself might have been more involved in a dangerous liaison than anyone could have imagined. Mariana arrived at the scene with measured steps and a keen eye for detail. The apartment was opulent, with modern art and expensive furnishings meticulously arranged. But amid the pristine surroundings, something was off. A subtle, almost imperceptible sign that a personal drama had erupted behind closed doors. As she examined the surroundings, Mariana's thoughts wandered to the possibility that this was not merely a case of an extramarital affair, but a carefully orchestrated murder designed to silence secrets that could crumble an empire. Her first conversation was with Celia, whose icy composure barely masked a storm of emotions. "I can't believe this is happening," Celia murmured, her voice trembling yet controlled. Mariana observed the faint lines of worry etched around her eyes, the slight tremor in her hand as she clutched a silk handkerchief. Celia claimed ignorance about any dispute with her husband and insisted that their relationship had been on steady ground. Yet, as Mariana probed further, she discovered that Celia's alibi for the evening of the murder was tenuous at best. Witnesses recalled seeing her leave a charity event earlier that night, but no one could confirm her whereabouts after a certain hour. Mariana's investigation led her through a maze of testimonies, financial records, and personal diaries. Every clue was a piece of a puzzle that seemed to shift shape the more she tried to assemble it. Her gut told her that the affair might have been the spark that ignited a larger conspiracy, one that involved not only a shattered marriage, but also deadly retribution from an unknown adversary. Late one rainy night, as Mariana sat alone in her cluttered office, poring over photos and documents, a breakthrough came in the form of an anonymous tip. The note, typed on old-fashioned paper, read, "Truth hides where passion burns. Look beneath the smiles and find the scars." It was cryptic yet potent, and it set Mariana on a new path. She began to re-examine the relationships around Adrian and Celia. There was Marcus, a charming yet mysterious artist who had been spotted in the company of Celia on several occasions. Then there was Helena, a longtime confidant of Celia, whose own history was marred by scandal. And finally, an enigmatic figure known only by the pseudonym Raven, whose digital footprint hinted at involvement in blackmail and underground networks. The deeper Mariana delved into the case, the more she realized that every suspect harbored secrets and every alibi was a thin veil covering deeper lies. Marcus's art, once celebrated for its raw emotional power, now seemed to contain hidden messages, scribbled notes in the margins of his canvases that alluded to forbidden love and betrayal. His interactions with Celia had been brief but charged, leaving both an unspoken promise and a lingering bitterness that could have easily escalated into violence. Helena, on the other hand, appeared at first to be a loyal friend to Celia. But as Mariana dug into Helena's past, she discovered that Helena had once been involved in a similar scandal. A failed relationship with a powerful figure had left her with scars and a burning need for revenge. Helena's life had been a series of calculated moves, each driven by a desire to reclaim a lost dignity. Was it possible that Helena had orchestrated a scheme to destabilize the Kessler family? perhaps even going as far as to murder Adrian to settle old scores. Meanwhile, the digital trail of Raven was a labyrinth of encrypted messages and online profiles that pointed to a sophisticated network of extortionists. Their modus operandi was simple: identify powerful individuals with hidden secrets, leverage the scandalous details for profit, and, if necessary, eliminate the obstacle permanently. As Mariana connected the dots, it became clear that Raven might have been the puppeteer behind a string of manipulative acts, pulling the levers of fate to achieve a goal that was as chilling as it was elusive. The turning point in the investigation came unexpectedly when Mariana received evidence linking Adrian Kessler to secret offshore bank accounts. The accounts, managed through a series of shell companies, hinted at massive sums of money being transferred in the dead of night. The revelation deepened the mystery. Was Adrian involved in illicit business dealings? And if so, could this have provided a motive for someone to silence him permanently? The financial records painted a picture of a man entangled in a dangerous game of high stakes, where money and power intermingled with betrayal and vengeance. In a desperate bid to unravel the truth, Mariana arranged a covert meeting with an insider from the financial institution that managed the accounts. Under the dim glow of a street lamp in an abandoned parking lot, the insider revealed that Adrian's transactions were linked to a network of influential figures involved in everything from real estate fraud to corporate espionage. This new angle not only implicated powerful players, but also hinted at a larger conspiracy that could topple entire institutions. Every step Mariana took in the investigation seemed to draw her deeper into a vortex of treachery where every ally could be an enemy, and every enemy might be a victim of circumstances beyond their control. As days turned into sleepless nights, Mariana found herself haunted by memories of her own past. The loss of her mentor, a revered detective who had fallen victim to a similar maze of deception, fueled her resolve. In a private moment of reflection, she vowed to honor her mentor's legacy by pursuing the truth, regardless of the personal cost. The case was no longer just another assignment. It was a mission to restore justice in a world that had lost its way. With renewed determination, Mariana returned to the investigation with a fresh perspective. She started to piece together the puzzle by meticulously reconstructing the timeline of events on the night of the murder. Every detail was scrutinized. The exact time Celia had left the charity event, the brief encounter between Celia and Marcus in a secluded corner of a trendy cafe, and even the moment when Helena was seen arguing with an unknown man near a secluded park. The evidence began to form a mosaic that was as intricate as it was disturbing. Each fragment of truth revealed a story of love, betrayal, and the desperate need to survive in a world that often rewarded treachery over honor. The breakthrough came when Mariana discovered a series of photographs taken from a distance on the night in question. One image, in particular, caught her eye: a blurred figure standing in the shadows outside the Kessler apartment building. The figure's posture was deliberate, almost as if they were waiting for the perfect moment to strike. The photograph, enhanced and analyzed frame by frame, revealed a distinctive tattoo on the figure's wrist, a symbol that was later linked to a notorious underground syndicate known for its involvement in blackmail and assassination. This clue served as a linchpin in Mariana's investigation, providing the first solid connection between the seemingly disparate threads of the case. Emboldened by the discovery, Mariana began to build a profile of the killer. The killer, it appeared, was not a hired assassin from a distant organization, but someone intimately connected to the lives of the key players. The killer's methods were precise, leaving no trace except for the subtle clues that pointed back to the underground syndicate. Every action taken was calculated, designed to mislead investigators and sow seeds of doubt among friends and foes alike. Mariana knew that to catch the killer, she would have to dive deeper into the criminal underbelly of the city, a realm where alliances were transient and trust was a luxury no one could afford. In the ensuing weeks, the investigation grew increasingly perilous. Mariana found herself surveilled by shadowy figures, and anonymous phone calls became a frequent reminder that she was treading on dangerous ground. A sense of urgency permeated every interaction, and every clue uncovered led to more questions than answers. The web of deceit had ensnared not only the primary suspects, but also numerous secondary characters whose lives were irrevocably altered by the fallout of the affair and the murder. From a reclusive informant with a murky past to a disgraced politician desperate to clear his name, each individual played a part in the unfolding drama, their motives as varied as they were inscrutable. One particularly chilling night, as a storm raged outside and lightning illuminated the deserted streets, Mariana received a cryptic message on her encrypted phone. The message contained a single line: "Look closer at the ones you trust." The words sent a shiver down her spine, for they resonated with the betrayal she had experienced so often in her career. Was it a warning from an insider, or was it the killer's way of taunting her? The uncertainty only deepened her resolve to unravel the mystery, even as the danger around her escalated to a fever pitch. In a daring move, Mariana arranged a clandestine meeting with an old colleague who had since retired from active duty. The meeting took place in a secluded diner on the edge of the city, a location chosen for its anonymity and the comfort of nostalgia. Over steaming cups of coffee, they exchanged fragmented details of the investigation. Her colleague, whose own career had been marred by corruption within the system, cautioned her that the case was bigger than she could imagine. Sometimes, he warned in a low, gravelly tone, the people you think you know are the ones hiding the darkest secrets. His words rang true, and Mariana could not shake the feeling that she was being led into a trap meticulously set by those who knew exactly how far the truth could hurt. The investigation reached a feverish climax when Mariana discovered a hidden diary belonging to one of the suspects. The diary was a raw and unfiltered account of a forbidden love, marked by passion, betrayal, and the ever-present specter of retribution. The entries were laced with the anguish of a soul torn apart by societal expectations and personal ambition. The diary detailed clandestine meetings in forgotten corners of the city, desperate phone calls in the dead of night, and a growing realization that love, when mixed with ambition, could become a deadly weapon. Mariana pored over every word, feeling the intensity of emotions that leaped off the page. The diary did not provide all the answers, but it offered a glimpse into a world where every gesture was a coded message, and every encounter carried the weight of impending doom. As Mariana followed the intricate trail of evidence, she began to notice subtle patterns, a recurring set of numbers and bank statements, a particular time when the city's lights flickered, and a mysterious melody playing softly in the background during critical moments of the case. These patterns, seemingly random at first, gradually formed a hidden message that hinted at a larger, more sinister plan. It became clear that the affair and the murder were merely the tip of an iceberg that extended far into the murky depths of corruption and deceit. Mariana was not just chasing a single murderer. She was unmasking an entire network of conspiracies that had infiltrated every level of society. In a dramatic confrontation, Mariana finally gathered all the key players in one room, a tense standoff where every glance and every pause was laden with unspoken accusations. The atmosphere was charged with electric hostility, and as accusations flew, the true nature of each individual was laid bare. Celia, whose calm had given way to desperation, broke down as she admitted that her life had been dominated by a series of compromises that had led her to make dangerous choices. Marcus, too, revealed that his art had always been a means to express the hidden truths of a corrupt society, and his involvement in the affair was a desperate attempt to reclaim a sense of autonomy. Helena, whose loyalty had been questioned throughout the investigation, confessed that her actions were driven by a need to protect someone dear, a secret that, if revealed, would destroy everything she held close. Amid the emotional turmoil, the figure known as Raven stepped forward unexpectedly. With a calm yet chilling demeanor, Raven disclosed that the entire affair had been orchestrated as a means of control. "The truth is a fragile thing," Raven said softly, "and sometimes, in order to protect it, one must be willing to sacrifice everything." It was then that Mariana realized the killer was not an isolated individual acting out of malice, but a carefully constructed persona designed to manipulate the outcomes of every key decision. The lines between victim and perpetrator blurred, and Mariana was forced to confront the possibility that the true enemy might be lurking within the very institutions that were meant to safeguard justice. The confrontation escalated into a labyrinth of revelations, where each new piece of evidence seemed to upend the established narrative. Mariana found herself questioning every assumption and reevaluating the roles of those she had once considered allies. The turning point came when a long-forgotten recording surfaced, a clandestine conversation recorded during one of the late-night meetings. In the recording, voices spoke of betrayal, sacrifice, and a final plan that had been set in motion long before the murder occurred. The recording implicated several high-ranking officials and confirmed that the affair was but a catalyst for a much larger, more calculated plan to secure power and silence dissent. With every new discovery, Mariana felt the weight of the case intensify. The city itself became a character in the unfolding drama, a sprawling urban landscape where neon lights and dark alleys held secrets that only the most daring could unearth. As the investigation neared its conclusion, Mariana's determination grew into an obsession. She spent countless sleepless nights retracing her steps, cross-referencing every clue, and meticulously connecting the seemingly random dots that formed the tapestry of this twisted tale. The deeper she delved, the more she understood that justice was not a simple matter of black and white, but a complex interplay of human ambition, flawed morality, and the relentless pursuit of truth. In the final, harrowing hours of the investigation, Mariana confronted the mastermind behind the scheme, a person whose identity had been obscured by layers of deceit and carefully constructed alibis. In a secluded warehouse on the outskirts of the city, Mariana faced the culprit, whose cold eyes revealed a soul hardened by years of manipulation and betrayal. The confrontation was silent at first, a charged moment where time itself seemed to slow. Then, with a voice that dripped with both regret and resolve, the mastermind admitted to orchestrating the affair and the murder as part of a grand plan to reshape the power dynamics within the city. The confession was not a plea for forgiveness, but a statement of inevitability. The idea that in a world where truth was malleable, only those willing to cross moral boundaries could survive. The ensuing struggle was both physical and psychological, a battle of wits and wills where every move was calculated and every moment could be the last. Mariana's training and intuition were put to the ultimate test as she fought not only for her life, but for the very soul of justice. The warehouse, with its cavernous interior and flickering lights, became the stage for a climactic showdown. In the midst of chaos, as alarms blared and shadows danced on the walls, Mariana managed to subdue the mastermind. In that moment, as the echoes of her victory reverberated through the dark corridors, she realized that the case had transformed her. No longer was she merely a detective. She had become a guardian of truth in a world where deception reigned supreme. In the weeks that followed, the city began to heal from the wounds inflicted by the scandal. High-ranking officials were held accountable, and the underground network that had once seemed invincible began to crumble under the weight of its own corruption. Mariana's reputation as a tenacious investigator was cemented, yet she remained haunted by the sacrifices made along the way. The memory of lost lives, shattered relationships, and the relentless pursuit of a truth that had nearly consumed her became a constant reminder that even in the darkest corners of human nature, hope could still be found. The case left a lasting imprint on Mariana, one that shaped her understanding of loyalty, love, and the intricate dance between justice and retribution. Though the scars of the investigation would never fully fade, they served as a reminder of the price of truth and the resilience of those who dared to seek it. The city, with all its contradictions and hidden stories, continued to pulse with life, a living testament to the enduring struggle between light and darkness. And as Mariana walked the familiar streets, now bathed in the soft glow of dawn, she vowed to continue her mission. In a world rife with secrets and betrayals, her determination to protect the innocent and expose corruption burned brighter than ever. The echo of the case lingered like a whisper in the wind, a reminder that behind every closed door, there existed a story waiting to be told. Mariana Voss, the detective who had unraveled one of the most complex mysteries of her time, knew that her journey was far from over. The city still harbored many secrets, and as long as there were those willing to deceive, there would be a need for someone to shine a light on the truth. And so, with her resolve renewed and her spirit unbroken, she set forth into the unknown, ready to confront whatever darkness lay ahead, armed with the unwavering belief that justice, though elusive, was worth every sacrifice.